says I'm live. I don't know whether to believe it or not. If you're here, okay, here's the new rules of the Ask the Builder live stream. You have to check in, all right? You just have to check in and say hi. You don't have to write any questions. It's just not cool to be a lurker, all right? I mean, it's the least you could do. I'm here for you, so I'd love to know who I'm talking with. So please, just say hi. That's not too much to ask, is it? I'm not a stalker. I'm not going to copy your name and come find you. Okay, I'm Tim Carter. This is Ask the Builder, and we're going to have some fun today. Oh, look, I chased one away. Maybe two. Who knows? So, Steve, hi, Steve. How you doing? There you go. Thank you for doing that. Will, thank you for checking in. Okay, going to be pretty good live stream today. We're going to talk about mortarless stone veneer in just a few minutes, if that's why you're here. We're going to talk about darts. So what do you think about that, huh? How about if I hold it out right? So darts. And we're going to try to stay away from the whole water thing, the water things. We don't want to talk about the water things. All right. It's going to get us banned. All right. So you're going to get me banned. Pizza. Right. Pizza. I took all the steps of the pizza. I should put it on the Discord. I can't put the photos here. Well, I can do this. So here's the before. Before it was you like that shape. I don't care. It doesn't have to be round for me. And then here is the finished. Came out pretty good. That cheese is a lot browner. It's really white in the screen here, but pepperoni, onion, broccoli. I forgot to put the pineapple on it. Oh gosh. It was really good. Only ate part of it. It'll make up for two more meals at least. So that's the pizza. Came out great. If you're just getting here, I'll tell you in just a second, Will. If you're just getting here, and you're new to the live stream, one of the Ask the Builder rules is you have to check in. You just have to check in, say hi. You don't have to ask a question. And I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not going to go to your YouTube channel and stalk you. It's not going to happen. You know why? Because I've got so many things to do. I'm actually thinking about staying up 24 hours a day, see how much I can get done. There's so much I got going on. It's crazy. I'm supposed to be retired. Not happening. Okay, what kind of dough do I use? Will they have, I don't know the brand, but I would think that where you live, do you have Hannaford's at your, I mean, isn't Hannaford's a main store? Hey, Silver, how you doing? Anyway, Crutchford. It's pre-made dough. Hey, Rocco, it's pre-made dough. It comes in a bag. And it's in the case where it's right next to the pastries. It's it's like near the deli. It's at least in our store. It's refrigerated. So it's it comes in a bag. It's already been made. It's already risen. You can make your own dough. My daughter showed me how to do it about 6 weeks ago, and I was just stunned to me how hard it is. It's like it takes all this work to make flipping dough. Even just the dough for bread. Like, Jesus, there must be 6 or 7 steps. Holy moly. So, okay. So I'll bet you they've got it. And unfortunately, I just tied up that bag of garbage that had the plastic bags in it. Otherwise, I'd let you know. If you cannot find it, next time I go to the store, I'll take a photograph of it. Hi, Frederick. Thanks for checking in. All right, I'll talk about that real quick. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? Good. Everybody's checking in. That's fantastic. I need more of that. I need to stress that more from now on. Frederick, I'm just going to say this. I don't know where you are on the illness thing, and the whole illness debacle that's been happening in the last 2 years. But I'm just going to assume that you're on the different side of the fence that I am about the illness. And so this is a rhetorical question to you. Why would you believe everything you're seeing on your news feeds, your sources, when they lied to you for 2 years about the illness? And then I just want to leave you with this. I just want to leave you with this. I'm not going to get into a discussion about it because I cannot prove it. All right. I can prove that they lied to you. I can do that. But I think you need to understand that that the role of the mainstream media right now is to keep people like you. They're actually trying to do exactly what you're experiencing. They every day. If you have not noticed this over the past 5 years, maybe 8 years, have you ever stopped and thought, if you could go back and look at the news feed each day, there was always some major crisis, right? That is by design. Because when they have you upset like you are now and depressed and then fearful, like especially the last 2 years, they had you in the fearful state because they were playing the scarcity card on you. You know what that is, right? In other words, the scarcity is the most powerful psychological trigger of all in humans. It's the reason we waterboard prisoners, all right? So when you waterboard somebody, what do you take away from them? Oxygen. Pretty important. Oxygen is pretty important for us. You give it back about a minute later, you bring them back to life. But you do that a couple of times, they start singing like a flipping canary, all right? The mainstream media has been playing a scarcity card on you for 2 years saying you're going to die. Are you serious? And you look at the numbers and you go, wait a minute, like the illness, it's only got a mortality rate like the ordinary common flu. Why should I be worried about that? Yeah, good question. The point I'm trying to make is do not believe what you are seeing on television. Do not believe it. You have to also understand that all of the video that you're seeing can be manipulated. I know you think I'm wearing a tin hat, and I'll actually prove it to you. I'm going to talk about Mortarless stone veneer in just a second, okay? But Frederick's got a really great question here. So I'm going to have to keep, I got to keep this URL. I'm going to copy this URL, and then I'm going to save it so I don't have to waste all this time. But Frederick, you have to watch this video. It's very funny. It's a very, very funny video. I want you to understand that when you see the technology in this video, the technology in this video is 16 to 17 years old. This video was created 15 years ago. It is so funny. This video is so flippin' funny. I'm almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Here we go. All right. I got to wait until the thing comes on so I can stop it so it doesn't start playing. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Good. Frederick, you and I are on the same side of the issue. Good. So watch that video. And this, just so you know, this is my favorite video in the series. It's video number 5 of probably 25. After you watch this video, I highly recommend you go and start at video 1 and just start marching through the whole series. Go to the bathroom first. They're that funny. They're so flipping funny. It's like a 3-minute video, and they only spend in each of these 3 or 4 minute videos, they only spend about 15 seconds showing you how to change something. The rest of it's all funniness and entertainment and drama. Flippin' hilarious. This is 16-year-old technology. Okay, let me get caught up. No need for a bunker. Don't need to do that. Rocco, neighbors getting a metal roof, aluminum forever, metal shingles looks nice. Yeah, metal shingles can look nice. All right. There are people here that I know that want me to talk about mortarless stone veneer. I'm going to get started on that. Then we'll talk about everything else. If you have a question about anything about your house, put it in the chat. If you have a question about mortarless stone veneer as I'm talking, ask it right away. So don't hold back. Don't hold back. And remember, if you have not checked in, check in. That's the polite thing to do. That's the least that you can do. Mortarless stone veneer. Hi, David. Thank you for checking in. I put a link for it way at the top. You should go read my column about it. You might think that this is a newer product. Not really. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years. The Egyptians were really good at it. The Egyptians used mortarless stone veneer to cover the pyramids at Giza. It's a lot of people have done it for years, and even the Peruvian Indians at Machu Picchu have got really, really good at fitting stones with no mortar. So mortarless stone been around for a long time. Even here in New Hampshire, it's very crude, but we have stone walls everywhere here, and they're all mortarless. No mortar at all. So the mortarless stone veneer, though, here is a trend really kind of picked up at about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. That's what happens with trends in building and remodeling. They do it on purpose to keep getting money from you, just so you know. They want you to change colors all the time. They want you to change kitchen cabinets, change appliances. For example, back in the 1970s, harvest gold and green, that green color were like the rage. If you didn't have harvest gold and green appliances and a dishwasher front, you were like slime bag. so they keep doing it, and what was it like in the past 10 years? Stainless steel, that's the thing, and then what was it another 10 years, like 10 years ago, concrete countertops, the thing, the rage. All right, so just understand that you're being played all the time. And some people succumb to it. Some people are very weak, and some people have very weak egos, and they want people to like them. So they think if they go with the current trend and spend the money to do whatever, that people will like them more. That's what's in play, just so you know. The mortarless stone veneer, very cool stuff. It is modular in so much as that the pieces are cut so you can put them in randomly, but they work like Lego blocks. I mean, have you ever noticed that Lego blocks, they come in different sizes, but you can mix and match them, and so you can, you may have a gap like this big, and that was created by 2 blocks. Well, they have 1 block that'll fill that gap. Mortarless stone veneer, same thing. Some of it comes in panels. Overlaps in such a way like the old Insul brick. You actually screw the panels to the wall. The mortarless stone veneer that was just put in on a building near me, they actually put it right over a poured concrete foundation, and so that it sticks, they actually use some mortar, behind it, so it would stick to the poured concrete. Really interesting product. It's a really interesting product. I couldn't think of the color, avocado. How can I forget that? That's exactly what it looks like, the inside of an avocado. Hi, Don. How you doing? Hi, Josh. Yep. Hi, David. I already said hi to you. That's correct. So anyway, the mortarless stone's really cool here. But what you need to understand, though, this is really important. The stone is still heavy. All right. Don't be fooled. So the average stone, whether it's granite or sandstone or limestone, they're all pretty much about the same density, and they weigh about 150 pounds per cubic foot. So think about the average, surround for a fireplace. Like you might have 30 inches of stone on one side, 30 inches on the other, and then you've got it all across the top, maybe 2 feet high. Well, I did some math earlier in the week, and even if that stone's only an inch and a half thick, it weighs about 600 pounds. A lot of weight, all right? That means that when you start your first course of stone, whatever it's sitting on, it's got to be solid. It can't compress. Otherwise, you're going to have all kinds of problems when you start putting it up. It cannot compress because the stone is cut precisely so that it stacks on one another. And also, if you use like mortar to put it up with, you got to be really careful. You can't have anything in the way. You've got to have solid contact between the pieces of stone. If you're using the real stone type that's not already preset into a panel. Really interesting material. You can get it in all different types of stone. You can get it in granite, sandstones, limestones. Very, very interesting material. And think of how durable it is. I mean, if you put it in right, I mean, I don't know, could last 3, 4, 500, 1,000 years, 10, I mean, until the next continental glacier comes. Because when it comes, it's bulldozing everything down. All right. So the last one was right here, right where I'm sitting, just so you know, right where I'm sitting. If I would have been here, let's go back a little farther. If I would go back 18,000 years ago, I'd have about 3,000 feet of ice on top of me. Hey, Pat. From Canada. Good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So if you have any questions about a mortarless stone veneer, I'm happy to answer them. It's really a pretty simplistic product. The biggest thing is if you're going to try to do the job yourself, which I highly recommend, it's very easy to work with. Just read the instructions. Just stop, take your time, read the instructions. They're very simple to understand, and you'll have nothing but success. I guarantee you. I mean, in the column here, I'll get that column again. I want to paste in this link because I want to show you there's a photograph of my friend, this woman. Her name's Anne, lives out in Southern California. And in this column is a picture of Anne. She installed the mortarless stone veneer that you're going to see around this fireplace, and had never worked with the material before. Nothing. She did it all. She just is very. She's a good attention to detail. She follows instructions. She had called me and asked me some questions about the mortar, and I got that. So I had her on the right track. So it came out fantastic. The job came out amazing. So you can do it. That's all I'm trying to tell you is that you can put this mortar. You can work with it. It's not that hard. And the pieces. What's neat about it? The pieces are small. They don't weigh very much. So it's not like you have to lift a 45-pound, 8-inch concrete block. It's nothing like that at all. So very, very neat material. All right. Any questions about anything? It could be anything about your home. I really don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't care what the questions are. Any questions about mortarless stone veneer, I'm happy to answer them. Today, I'll give you a really rare weather day in central New Hampshire. I mean, it's March 18th. All right, March 18th. I'm telling you, it could just as easily be 24 degrees right now outside. Today, it got to 69 degrees. It was like, I'm out outside in a flipping t-shirt. Now, it's going to be the last warm day for a while. I mean, we're going to have rain tomorrow. And Sunday, it's going to be 53. Sunday afternoon after church, I'm going to be right outside on the driveway, jacking my truck up and putting a flipping caliper on the left front wheel of my truck. My left front caliper froze up yesterday. It's a real chronic problem with Ford trucks, these F-250s. This is probably the 4th caliper I've put on my truck. Oh, Pat, no. Great question. That's a great question. No, it's for exterior use too. In fact, if you go to that column that I just pasted in right above your chat column, the first photo you're going to see is where it's being used on the exterior of a commercial building here in central New Hampshire. I just took that photo maybe last Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. So absolutely, you can do it outside. Absolutely. Not a problem. If you use it outside, Pat, you have to really pay particular attention to a weather barrier behind it. Because think about it, there's no mortar, and the pieces fit really tight. But in a driving rainstorm, a wind-blown rainstorm, water is going to immediately go through the stone, because there's no mortar to kind of help hold it back. And even when there is mortar, water goes right through the mortar. So when there's no mortar and those tiny little cracks, there's going to be a lot of water behind the stone. All right, it's not an issue if you know how to capture the water and divert it back outside. That's so just so you know that. But absolutely, you can use it outside. I mean, and if you get a really durable stone, a granite or a sandstone, it's going to outlive you. I'll tell you that. No doubt about it. Any other questions quickly about mortarless stone veneer? Happy to answer them. What did I want to tell you? I got just before I went live, a question came in on the website. This really nice woman, I forget what her name was. Doesn't matter. That's going to be on one of my t-shirts. It doesn't matter. And she was doing this really amazing remodel of her bathroom, and she had seen a picture online of a semicircular, half circle window that she wanted, to put in her shower and her bathtub area to let some light in. And she said, she sent this long email and said, "Is that a horrible idea?" And I went back, absolutely. A horrible idea. All right, Pat, let's see. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Straw bale house. Concrete slab covered in styrofoam insulation, clad in aluminum. I like to find the brick. Okay. So, Pat, I got some questions. You say, I have a straw bale house that I helped build in 2005. I have a concrete slab, okay, covered in styrofoam insulation. I'm guessing you mean you have the insulation under the slab. I mean, you wouldn't cover the slab with insulation and be walking on the styrofoam, right? No, you're not doing that. No way. And then it's clad in aluminum. I'm guessing what you mean is that the styrofoam must be also on the sides of the slab, and you clad those in aluminum to protect it because the insulation's soft. Am I right about that? So, just so you know, so this is exactly why we're doing the Discord. All right. So, because you can't share pictures here. So if you were part of Discord right now, if you were part of my Discord, you could go here. And then in the Discord, we have a place called project photos. And you could put your project photo, you could put this photos. Yeah, it's called post project pictures here. And then you would put that photo in right away, and I would slide my screen over like I'm doing now, and I would see your photo. So, but here, stupid YouTube, and I know why they do it. The reason you can't share photos here, you know why? Because some idiot is going to share porno, some horrible, bad photos, bad stuff. I mean, I get it, because we got a lot of dumb people out there. So I understand why they're not letting you share photos. So I'm having a hard time understanding exactly. But I'll answer you this. I can tell you this as far as the answer. This is really what you need to know. This stone, if the house is built with straw bales, you are not going to be able to support the weight of the stone on the straw bales. All right. There's no fasteners. It's going to sag the straw. You can only put this outside is you would have to pour a footing around the whole place. You would have to pour, or if you have some type of footing, you can bring concrete block up from it now, and then you can start laying the stone veneer on that. You're not going to be putting the stone veneer on top of aluminum and then that's sitting on top of styrofoam. This stuff weighs 150 pounds a square foot, cubic foot, 150 pounds a cubic foot. With rerod in a floor. Okay, all encased in concrete. Okay, probably. I'm going to ask you to do two things. You have two choices. You can either join the Discord, which you may not want to do. I understand. Then you need to go to my website, askthebuilder.com, you'll see up at the top somewhere a thing called Ask Tim. Click that, put your name, your email address in, and you can upload 3 photos. So send me some photos and send me a close-up photo of exactly where the straw bales and this aluminum and stuff are hitting the ground. I need to see all that. You do that, and I'm going to give you a much better answer. But this is really, really hard. This is so hard to try to get it clear as to what's going on. Believe me. Will wants to know where you buy it. I would buy. You can maybe buy it from the orange and blue stores, Will, but I would buy it from a business that just sells stone. For example, here in my town, over in Guilford, there's a big company that sells brick and block, and they're just a big, block and brick company, and they would sell it. That's who you would buy it from. But you might find some of it at the orange and blue stores, but you're not going to get the variety that you could get somewhere else. The bale walls on top of the foundation, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, the problem is, see, Pat, I cannot. Hi, good night. I cannot imagine that they held the bales back from the edge of the foundation 2 inches or 3 inches. I can't believe that they would, because that would create a water leak situation of water coming under the bales. Typically, you would hold the bales flush or over, and you need to have a solid, something very strong to start stacking this mortarless stone. You cannot put it on soil. You cannot just. It's gotta be like a real foundation. Okay, great. So yeah, join Discord and share the photos there. I'm happy to discuss it there, and that's really the best place to do it. And the reason why is everybody gets to benefit by my answer. When you just come to my website and you put your photos there, you're the only person that gets the benefit. That's why I only spend 10 minutes a day doing that, because I'm not going to waste my time doing all these one-offs, when I should be creating content that tens of thousands of people should see. So, all right. Any other questions? While you type your questions, I'm going to talk. Yes. Thank you. Good night. Yesterday, we got talking about water things. Water things. That's what we call them. Water things. And then we got talking about darts. And I said, oh, I love darts, blah, 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 blah. And I tried to find my darts. I was looking in the wrong drawer. I mean, I knew they were I knew they were within 2 feet of where I was. So I finally found them. So here are darts of mine, probably 40 years old. 21-gram tungstens. I love my red flights. These are really great darts. All right, really great darts. So 21 grams. I'll hold it up really close. The problem is it's kind of blurry. I'm trying to. It's got those nice cut lines. They're very. That knurling is just perfect, so that it doesn't slip in your hand. They're not some crappy brass darts. I'll tell you that right now. So darts. We're going to do darts this summer up on my 90 acres. All right. Jarts. They were called jarts. Why would they get rid of jarts? How many people do you think actually got a jart through the shoulder or something? Whoa. Hello, Al Mosfet. Howdy. Glad you're here. Yeah. Come on, Will. You remember those things? They had like a hula hoop. It was just like playing cornhole, but instead of cornhole, you actually had these flipping. Just look it up on Google Images. Jarts. I'm telling you, they were just like darts, but about 10 times the size of this thing, man. They'd go up and stick into the soil, but people got them stuck in their head and their. Oh my gosh. Only the ones except, yes, right. Oh my gosh. We can do cornhole up at the 90 acres, but we can just bring 5-gallon buckets and throw small pieces of granite, little tiny granite pieces of granite. All right. Any other questions about anything? Josh, I have 98 acres. We can throw darts on here in central Kentucky. Central Kentucky. I'm just not coming there in June, July, or August. Too flipping hot and humid. That's why I moved to New Hampshire. That's why I moved away from Cincinnati. Okay. What questions do you have for me about your home? I'm here to answer questions about homes. That's and there's a lot of people here. There's several people here who have not checked in. The new Ask the Builder rule is got to check in. Got to check in just to say hello. It's a very polite thing to do. And you should do that on all the live streams that you're at. You should just check in because the person like me really, really appreciates it. Simple as that. So just check in. Pond darts. I'm telling you, they were called jarts. I swear they were jarts. Jarts. All right. What? Good night says hard water. Yes. You're talking like water softeners. Yeah, they are worth it. Hard water makes you use more soap. Hard water is harsh on your. It can cause premature failure of your water heater. I mean, the problem is it's more of a convenience thing because it's one of those things that you would have a very hard time getting a return on investment. Even if you do, I mean, back in the day, I remember when Sears would sell the whole system. Sears sold water. I put in about 10 of them for people. I think you could buy the whole setup for $300. And it doesn't take long for a plumber to put one in. But now, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what they cost now. But some people just don't like hard water, and the soft water feels really good on your skin. It's it's a convenience thing. Sean, there you go. Checked in. Perfect. South Florida. Sonny Crockett. Good night. Is it worth doing the inline water filtering system? Depends. That's a great question. Depends. Like I'm on well water here, and I have a system. I have a water purification system, water softening, and it has an add-on accessory because our water had a slight organic smell to it. So we've got a special tube that I put chlorine bleach in, and it drips just the tiniest amount of chlorine. There's absolutely no taste to it. It's not like the amount of chlorine they put in the water in Cincinnati, Ohio, and probably down in Hartford, Connecticut. I mean, whew. Anyway, Crutchword. Yes, the answer is yes, they can be well worth it. And my problem is my system, I use potassium chloride for the water softening part, not sodium chloride. And the reason why is Kathy is a professional orchid grower. And if I use sodium chloride, I'd kill all the orchids from the salt, the sodium. They like the potassium, but they hate sodium. And the problem is the potassium chloride is like 5 to 6 times more expensive, the bags. But I don't care. She's worth it. She's worth 10 times that amount of money. 100 times, 1,000 times. Actually, she's priceless. Yeah, hard water can cause problems in toilets, absolutely. But it's really simple to solve that with white vinegar. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And here's why. I'm going to gross a few people out. That's okay. You need to be educated. This is stuff you probably never think of. If you live near Hartford, Connecticut, big city. God only knows how many gallons of water a day that they have to supply to all the businesses and houses in Hartford. Millions of gallons of water. Where do you think that water comes from? You ever thought about that? Why, of course. Isn't the Connecticut River right there? Doesn't the Connecticut River run just north of downtown? They're getting it out of the Connecticut River. All right. So I don't know the geography of Connecticut that well, but what's the next big town north of Hartford that's on the Connecticut River? Yeah, they might have some wells too. They might be pulling some from wells, but odds are they're getting it out of the Connecticut River. But there's some town, there's some big city that is north of Hartford on the river. And they have all those houses and businesses. Enfield could be. I don't know. I'd have to look on a map. I'm not going to do it. I don't care what the name of the town is. I just know that there's some town north of Hartford on the Connecticut River, a bigger city. And I guarantee you that in that city, they've got a sewer system. All right. Because in a city environment, you can't have septic tanks because you need to be in a rural area where you have enough land to have a leach field like I have. Where does all the sewage go? You ever thought about that? If indeed the town is Enfield, the sewage goes into the Connecticut River. Now they do treat it, but it's not drinkable. The water that comes out of the sewage treatment plant that's been treated, you do not ever take a glass. Don't drink that water. Springfield. Okay, Springfield, right. Springfield, Mass, of course. Springfield. All of the human waste and toilet paper from Springfield is coming right at Hartford. So they have to put chlorine in the water to help so that all the people in Hartford are don't get sick. And guess what? They have to do the same thing in Springfield, Mass, because north of Springfield, Mass, is another town that's putting their sewage into the water, into the Connecticut River. All right, so that's how it works. So anyway, it's just that's why your water has that horrible chlorine taste, because you just if you know anything about rivers, and if you go boating and you're a serious boater, you need to understand where all of the sewage treatment plants are, because you do not want to be boating just downstream of where they dump that stuff back into the river, because it's being constantly dumped into the river. It's not like they flush the toilet. It's not like all of a sudden they put 10,000 or 10 million gallons in, because think about this. Exactly, New York. Here's what you need to understand. This is really kind of an interesting exercise. Think of how much water. Let's stick with Hartford, Connecticut for now. All right. Think how much water is being used in Hartford, Connecticut right now. I don't know. What's the population of Hartford? 1 million people? I mean, I'm talking the city and kind of the suburbs. A lot of people. It's got to be 1 million people. All right. So think how many times each minute a toilet's flushed. All right. Think of all the water that's being used each minute. Okay, that same amount of water every minute is flowing into the sewage treatment plant. You understand why? Because the sewer pipes, they're not a reservoir. So when you flush the toilet, you've got water coming into the tank to fill the tank back up. And in the meantime, all that water is moving down the pipe, out to your yard, out to the city sewer, down to the sewage treatment plant. Same way for another 1 million people doing the same thing. The sewage treatment plant does not have this giant 100,000 billion gallon tank that they just hold everything in, and then when you're sleeping, let it go. So the water has to be moving through the sewage treatment plant. Understand that? In other words, otherwise it'll back up. It would flood the sewage treatment plant because they got so much water coming in every minute. So you just have to think about this stuff. I mean, this is stuff I think about. I know I'm crazy. Kathy thinks I'm crazy. All right. Don, Is it better? It's better to have a well. Maybe, I guess maybe. I mean, I like being on a well, but I have a problem. I have a problem. My flipping. Okay, so I'm a geologist. All right, so I don't know which way the cracks in the bedrock below my house, which way they're trending. Are they trending north to south, south to north? What, I don't know. West to east, east to west, whatever. My flipping neighbors, who I like my neighbors, but but the wife is one of these people that has to have the lawn perfect. To use all those flipping, they have a company come out and spray those damn chemicals. And I don't care what it says on the label. And you cannot even pronounce the names of the chemicals that are on the warning sheet. So that stuff is getting into the flipping aquifer. Population 123,000. I was so far off. Holy tomato. Rocco, they use chloramine around here to now treat the water. It's engineering 101. We better be thinking about it. Exactly. Nuclear power. My son is a big agreeer with you on that. I'm okay with nuclear. I don't know why. Well, what do I know? What we need is fusion. No, fission. Which one's the sun? Fusion, I think. Yeah, fusion. We need to figure out fusion is what we need to figure out because that's safe. Well, I guess if it gets out of control, all of a sudden that area burns up like the sun. Fusion, right? No radioactivity with fusion. But even, everybody got freaked out about Chernobyl. I read the book. I watched that movie. That was a really great television series, really good. And well, hell yes, Chernobyl was bad. Well, they built a flipping reactor that was unstable in the first place, but then no containment building. I mean, when the reactor blew, it just blew the roof off the building. What do you expect? Milligranite for our lawn. Yeah, you get that. You get the the bio waste from the sewer plants. I don't know if I would put that on your lawn. Just so you know. Just so you know. There's so much crap, so many dangerous chemicals that people put into their sewers that gets mixed in with that. I don't know that I would ever want that anywhere near my house. That's just me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They're afraid of what they don't understand. I mean, we've had nuclear reactors on Navy ships for years. I mean, I spent a day aboard the USS George Washington, nuclear powered aircraft carrier. Anyway. Yeah. So, anyway, any questions you've got for me, just let me know. We got quite a few people here. Love to answer questions about your house. That's why I'm here. If you have questions about how to change out the left front caliper on a Ford F-250, I can help you. Going to be doing it tomorrow. 2 big bolts. Take the big bolts off. Boom. Comes right off. Awesome. It actually, believe it or not, because I don't have a, once I break the nuts, I've got a 6-foot long 1-inch black iron pipe that fits perfectly over the stupid wrench that Ford gives you. Once I crack those nuts, then I do have a cordless tool that's that you hear the car guys use. But they run on air. But I can get the nuts off pretty quickly. Then I can get them back on pretty quickly. But it almost takes longer to get the wheel to jack up the truck, get the wheel off, and then eventually put the truck back down, put the wheel back on, tighten everything up. It almost takes longer to do that than it does just to switch out the caliper. Just so you know, if you've never done this kind of work, it's really not that hard. And can you believe YouTube? I mean, there's so many videos that show you how to do a lot of these car repairs. You shouldn't be afraid. All you can do is get it wrong. If you get it wrong, big deal. Just call the tow truck and they'll take the car and the parts that you have to the auto repair shop. Don't eat the fish you catch at a golf course. Exactly. Those things got 3, 4 flipping eyes. Are you kidding me? All the chemicals they use on a golf course. I remember once, and I don't know if it's true, this guy had a habit of licking a golf ball. It was like he thought it was good luck. And they had just sprayed stuff on that golf course the day before that morning. He didn't know it. He licks his golf ball each time. And which you're not even supposed to be picking the damn things up. Right? The only time you're allowed to touch the ball is when you tee it up and on the are you allowed to switch balls on the green? Will, am I allowed to switch balls? I don't know what the rule is actually, but I know you can pick the ball up on the green if you mark it because it might be in the way of another guy. Anyway, the guy evidently got sick and died because he got all these chemicals in him. But that could just be an urban, whatever. Steve, oh, that's frozen. The brake's stuck on. I mean, I thought my flipping wheel was going to catch on fire at the grocery. It was smoking so bad. Oh my God. And I just changed the right one. The right one went bad last October. I was driving from New Hampshire to Cincinnati. I'm going through Columbus, Ohio. The freaking right front brakes all of a sudden starts to stick. Like, are you kidding me? And luckily, a friend of mine in Cincinnati, he's an orthopedic surgeon. His hobby is working on cars. He just loves it. We're good friends. And I call him up and say, Tom, he says, I know you're coming to town. I said, guess what? I said, what are you doing on Friday? Nothing. He said, nothing. I said, we need to change out my caliper. Okay, meet me here. He has his own he owns an old 1920s Buick car dealership. He's got all these old antique cars in it that he works on. Goodnight says, I would love to learn golf. No, do not. No, you're too young and it's too much of a time suck. I'm serious. It really, and it's flipping expensive. I mean, you need to ham radio. Rocco, big believer in DIY here. If someone else can do it, you can. Exactly. You're exactly right. El Mossett, me. Donis, brake calipers or steel. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Beats me. I just know that if you go online and do a little research, you find out that for whatever reason, these F-250 Fords, it's a chronic problem with them. And it's like, why in all this time they could not fix it so that the new calipers coming out don't do this? I don't know. But for example, my wife's car is a 2005 Volvo XC90. Never has every caliper on her car is original. And here I've put on 4, 5, 6 flipping calipers on my Ford truck, 2009. Luckily they're not that expensive, $80. Yep, you're exactly right. Clean and lubricate the slides. Yeah, I'm putting new pads on. Absolutely. I put the grease on the springs, blah, blah, blah. All right, good night. DIY irrigation systems. It's safe to, yes, absolutely. DIY irrigation is like CPVC 101. It's so simple, nothing to it. The biggest thing you need to do with irrigation is think about gravity, think about, because you're like, if you're here in the Northeast, which I know you are, you want to understand that you have to drain the system in the winter. You can't let that water in there. And so you have to kind of engineer it, think where the low spot is and run a T out to where daylight's maybe so that you can just open up a valve and then open up all the heads. And hopefully if you've done everything right, it's all self-draining. Otherwise you got to blow it all out. But just, ham radio can be a little expensive too. I mean, the trouble with, no, it's going to be cheaper by far, cheaper. Because I don't know. Hey, Will, if you're here, I would think for somebody to start out and buy a halfway decent set of clubs, I'm just thinking they're going to drop $1,000. I could be wrong. I mean, a halfway decent, not just, but not some piece of crap clubs at Walmart. All right. And then you're going to buy shoes. I mean, what are golf shoes now? I need to get a new pair of golf shoes. $150 for shoes. Golf gloves. What's a golf glove cost now? $30? Who knows? I don't know. So your entry, see, the problem is to get into golf, you're going to spend a lot of money. And then when you go golfing, you're going to spend, I don't know, well, what is it? What are the greens fees now to play? Just like not weekends, during the week. I'm guessing 18 holes, you're going to be paying $60 maybe. Whereas with ham radio, once you get the radio, you don't spend any more money. Used clubs, $200. All right. Hi, S. Benitez. Good. You are a little late, but there's an old saying, better late than never. So I'm glad you're here. Golf shoes, $100. Yeah. I got to get a new pair. I need to talk to you, Will, about that. I want some guidance there. So I need to get those soon. I sent the email to the guy about the league. He hasn't gotten back with me yet. All right, what else can I answer? Any questions about your home? We're talking all kinds of subjects: golf, ham radio, darts. I mentioned it earlier. If you just got here, Dick's has sale on the shoes. Okay, all right. Thank you. 69 degrees here in New Hampshire today. Whew. That's insane. S. Benitez, need tires for my video jet. All right, so you're not going to believe this. I'm not a tire guy. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you other than to go to a local tire shop and get tires. Oh, I don't know that I would buy secondhand tires. I don't know that I would do that. But I understand that you might not want to put really good brand new ones on it either. I don't know. I don't know if I would get secondhand tires. I mean, I know one thing: you can buy tires from Amazon. I see him on the UPS guy that comes to my house. He backs down my driveway, and I'm good friends with him. And I look in the back of the truck all the time. You'd be stunned what people are shipping now on UPS brown trucks. Freaking tires, kayaks, hot tubs. There you go. That's TireRack.com. Excellent. Look at that. Pat has put her flipping photos on Discord. I'm going to go look right now. This is where I wish someone else could do the talking. Where did Pat put them? I'm trying to see. She must have put them in the living room. I'm trying to go there right now. It's like Discord is stuck. Come on. There we go. Come on. Come to life here. Come on. So Pat's here. Okay, there's Pat. Oh, okay. Look at this. So there's Pat. Check this out. Oh, look at this. She did put the freaking photos up. Kind of hard to see, but yeah, there's no close-up. So Pat, what you've got to do for me, you're going to have to, I see the foundation they poured for this. I see the forms there. You are going to have to you're going to have to go outside and take some close-up photos of, like I'm looking at the front of the house. I think it's the front. Yeah. Where it'd be the left front corner of your house where those 6 windows are. I want you to get up close to that and aim the camera right down towards the ground. I want to see how the wall beneath the windows, I want to see how that interacts with the foundation. That's what I need you to do. Good for you. Good for you to be on Discord that quickly. Wow. There we go. Oh, look at that. There's another photo. Let's see. So I am trying to understand. Okay. So this is interesting. I think what I see in this photo, Pat, you tell me if I'm wrong. There's a dark gray area, which I'm thinking is the foundation. And then I see this white strip, which is the aluminum, that must go back up behind or in front of the straw bale, and then they stuccoed over that. The biggest problem that I see is that they did not make that aluminum come over the foundation, because water can get under the aluminum. And if I'm understanding that, if that's a slope there, can you tell me how wide that slope is? What's the distance from the gray front of the foundation, if that's what it is? I'm sure that's what it is. Back to the straw bale. It looks like it could be 3 inches. And oh, well, maybe it is bent over it. I've seen now the detail on the. I see. I'm actually getting a little bit better view here. Maybe it is bent over. Yeah. Maybe the aluminum is bent over the concrete, which it must be. And if that's the case, where the bend is, what's the distance from the bend back to the stucco? I need to know what that is. Okay, Donnie, I know you, but you have to be quiet. All right, that's wonderful. That's exactly why. That's why Discord is so cool. I got to say something. My daughter is asking me a question. I just took care of that. All right. So, why is the flipping kiln on its side? Oh, it's not. I see. She took the picture sideways. My daughter's freaked me out there. Why would the kiln be on its side? It can't be on its side. That better not be on its side. Not be on its side. I'm trying to get back to the flipping live stream. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Check with the smaller local shops in your area for tire. Yeah, I agree. I buy mine from a small shop. Oh, Elle wants to know how to have good, nice green grass. I got news for you, Elle. My lawn is green. There's hardly any grass in it. It's weeds. Weeds are green. Weeds are green. But what I would do, so Elle, tell me where you live. Just could you tell me the state where you live? Let me know where you live, and then I'll be able to maybe help you. And it could be, just so you know, the big problem is trying to take care of the weeds. I mean, you can buy fertilizer and fertilize your lawn till the cows come home and get the grass really going well. But if you have weeds too, then you're going to fertilize the weeds and they're going to grow. The issue is when you try to get rid of the weeds, that's where the toxic chemicals come in. Hello, Vanessa. So anyway, just realize that weeds are green. I know my neighbors don't like me because my yard's very greeny. I mean, I've got so many weeds. I got more weeds than grass, and I don't care. I don't care. I got other stuff to do. I don't care what it looks like. Good night. You're very good at keeping the conversation going. Thank you. That's a great question, by the way. What is geothermal heating, and is it worth it? Geothermal heating is a heating system. So it's geothermal. Well, first of all, geothermal heating takes water and it circulates water. It brings water back to the, if you're heating, it takes water out of the ground. That's typically like 50 degrees or so. And then it takes it back to the house to a heat exchanger that's typically part of a heat pump. It's like a heat pump system. In other words, understand that heat pumps, they get heat out of the air, whereas the geothermal system is getting it out of water. But It takes that heat and puts it into a heat exchanger, and then so that it supplies the heat pump with the perfect temperature, of the coil. In other words, 50 degrees. And in the summer times, it does just the opposite. In other words, the air conditioner will start to run. It heats up the water. Instead of trying to put the heat into the air, it puts the heat into the water and puts it back in the ground. Now, are they worth it? My neighbor, okay, so let me help you out here. So I had a friend of mine, not a friend, he's just a neighbor. He built a new home 3 years ago on my street. He's got geothermal. And he spent $48,000 for his system. We're in New Hampshire. You don't have to have air conditioning. And if you feel the need for air conditioning, you only need it for about 10 days a year. You can get window units. You can buy a really, really nice window unit for like $400. My boiler, I put in the top of the line mini combi boiler that not only does it heat my home, my boiler also heats the domestic water. So I have a tankless water heater. And as long as I have propane, I can stay in the shower for 3 weeks. I could just turn the hot water on, stay in the shower. Never run out of hot water. My combi boiler, if I went and bought it today, right now, $2,700. You see where we're going here? In other words, $2,700 and you don't count any of the distribution system within the house because that's offsets. I just had to put in some radiant heating tubing and some wall radiators. He had to put in all kinds of expensive ductwork. So those offset, or they're close. So it cost him tens and tens of thousands of dollars more than me. And he still has to buy electricity to run the whole system. He's got to spend electricity to run the pumps, to get the water back and forth into the ground. Is it worth it? I've actually sent emails to some of the top geothermal associations saying I want to get the data to prove that it's worth it. They won't answer me. So I just, some people in certain I'll give you a good example who might be able to get away with it. Might. So Josh, if he's still here, Josh lives in central Kentucky, kind of a temperate climate. I mean, it can get cold there. Yeah, if he's got a pond, it can freeze over a little bit. But some people, who live out in the rural areas who have like a big pond and it's deeper, you can put the geothermal loop, just in the pond, at the bottom of the pond. And that's really cheap to do. It's drilling the wells and the stuff. That's expensive. So we talked about this in a past live stream. In other words, you just have to do the math. Josh, if I killed the weeds, there wouldn't be any green left. Exactly. Central Islip, New York, you lived. Okay, so L, what I would do is you can buy these really cheap machines. I'm going to assume that you have access to a lot of deciduous leaves. Oak leaves, maple leaves in the fall. The leaves fall off the trees, come to the ground. All right. So I'm here to tell you, if you can get access to a bunch of those leaves and you grind them up, you mulch them up into really small bits. I'm talking, I don't know, small. And you just broadcast that into the lawn and you keep doing that every year, dude, that is fantastic organic material. Your grass is going to love that. Your grass is going to love it. It's all for free. It's just your time and buying some type of machine that'll grind it up. Water system cooling for computers. I'm going to do that with my son in a couple of weeks. He's putting in a water cooling system in his computer, but he wants his plumber dad to help him. Well, where do you learn to use a backhoe? Pretty simple, actually. You can just go rent one. Just go rent a small skid steer loader that has one, or you can rent small Kubota tractors. And the one you want to learn, I'll just tell you right now, that the old backhoes that I was taught on, I'm a pretty good operator. I'm not the best, but I can really operate them. They used to have 4 levers, and you had to work them with your fingers. It was really, you really had to be good at that. And the backhoe operator I hired, he was so good. He had done it his whole life. Now you can get these like miniature these. You can go rent one of these at a tool rental place. Very small. They're very small. I've operated the big ones, the big ones, but you can rent these very small ones, and I don't know, $300 a day. And they've got joysticks. You want to learn how to do it with a joystick. That's all I want to tell you. Don't do the. I don't even know that you can find one that's got the 4 levers anymore. Joysticks, really simple. Yeah, I bet you've probably got really good hand-eye coordination. You probably would pick up. You'd probably get pretty fluid with it in about an hour, maybe 2 hours. When you're going to start out being really jerky, but you need to learn how to be making remember, you've got 3 parts here. You've got this arm here that you got to operate. You've got this that you have to operate, and you've got this that you have to operate. And sometimes you have to be doing all 3 at once, but it's not that hard. My Center's GPU heatsink, yes. Yes. All right. So Al, I mean, seriously, just grind up leaves, tree leaves. Fantastic fertilizer, but don't put so much down that you smother the grass. But let me tell you, the time to do it is to put it down in the fall and let it kind of start to degrade all winter long. And then in the spring, man, once the earthworms find out about it, oh man, the earthworms start working it into the soil. It's going to be magic. Vanessa, what is the height of a regular tetrahedron? What is the height needed for? I have no idea what tetrahedron. I don't know what you're talking about. That is the height needed for a leather tripod folding campaign stool. I have no idea. I can tell you what the typical height of a chair, the typical most comfortable height for the average chair is about 19 inches off the floor, if that'll help you. 19 inches is a very comfortable height for an adult for a chair. All right. Any other questions? These are some pretty good questions today. What else can I answer? We got 17 people here, but I don't know that 17 people checked in. All right. That's a polite thing to do. Check in. You got to check in just to say hi. I am not going to stalk you. I'm not going to your YouTube channel. I got so much stuff to do. I'm not stalking you. All right. Back to driving. Drive safely. What about that 13-year-old kid in Texas, West Texas? Killed all those people in that van. Jeez, oh Pete. Unbelievable. All right, what did I want to say? I am college golf team. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, college golf team. Private Christian school. You're welcome. You just so you know, if you have access to any, like if you came here to my house, there's so many leaves here. There's so many leaves in the forest floor. You can still do it this spring. Your biggest challenge is going to be trying to find the machine that really grinds them up well. What I do is I just use my lawnmower. I do it here. I did it last year. I just take my lawnmower, put it in the mulch mode, and I just keep running over it. I take the piles of leaves, and I just keep running over it 2 or 3 times. It does a perfect job. So it almost turns it into dust, So You can just, if you've got a lawnmower that has one of the mulching things, where you don't shoot it out the side, that's all you need. Showbiz, hi. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you've been here a couple of times. Absolutely. Thanks for stopping by. It's great that you're here. Oh, so get this. I was a little confused. I had forgotten the methodology of how they figured the date for Easter, because I thought I always thought it's the and that would make sense. What, because we're not there yet. That it's the first full moon after the spring equinox. So I think tonight's a full moon, and of course it's not the equinox, and so we don't have a full moon until April 16th. So Easter's a little late this year. There you go, Steve. Exactly. So L, look at Steve's comment. Dingo. That's all you got to do. And he's right. I mean, it can make the stuff almost into dust. And if you got it that fine, boy, that's the best. But the thing, what I found is that because you need a lot of leaves to really put enough down, because if you just take a light covering of leaves, after you run over it with the mulching mower, it's like you look like, where did it go? Because, the leaves look big before they're cut up. But once they're cut up, they just disappear into the grass. And you're exactly right. They're so fine, you can barely see them. That's exactly right. So look at this. This is kind of cool. So the Archimedes thermometer, I just noticed it. The green ball has dropped down. And in fact, two balls dropped down. The blue and the green have dropped down. And the yellow one is partway down. Look at that. The yellow one's partway down. Very cool. And the reason why is I opened up the window and it's got a little warmer in here today. So it's working really well. Because if you remember yesterday, just the black one here was down. Very cool. All right, what else can I answer for you? Any other questions? Do you have any questions? If you like what you're hearing, and I do, today might be a little scattered, hit the like button. It really helps us, the like button. Wait, look who's here. Are you kidding me? Shannon's here. Oh, my gosh. It's been AOL, showbiz. That is a great question. I'm going to answer that. So, showbiz, just so you know, I did. I wonder if someone could help me while I'm talking about it. If someone could go back and paste into the chat here the live stream from 12 days ago. I think it was Monday, March 7th, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was February 29th or 8th, whatever. I did a back-to-back live streams about the whole history of me and Ask the Builder. If you've not, have you watched those? Did you watch those live streams? Just answer me. But I'll answer your question though here real quickly. Yeah, Rocco, and it was Rocco's idea, I think. Rocco, wasn't it your idea? I think it was your question. So show. Oh, okay, good. You're gonna love it, man. You have got to watch those two live streams. Go back, and I titled them right. I've got like Ask the Builder History Part 1, Ask the Builder History Part 2. Anyway, here's the deal. So watch those to get all the minutia detail. I think I was destined to become a builder, first of all, and then I'll tell you about the YouTube thing. Because I was a Boy Scout. I loved Boy Scouts a lot. And it was so different from what it is now. All right. And I got home improvement merit badge, and I got journalism. So tell me that isn't foreshadowing. All right. Are you serious? Home improvement and journalism. So I go to college. I get a scholarship to get a master's degree in engineering geology. I turn it back. I say, I don't want this. You can give it to somebody else. I'm going to start my own construction business. And that's what I did. I started my own construction business and just kept doing harder and harder jobs because I loved it. I loved working with my hands. And there's such satisfaction. There's such great satisfaction out of taking materials and building something out of it. If you've never done it before, it's absolutely amazing. So then march down the timeline 20 something years, and I get picked as one of the top 50 remodelers in the nation. And by that time, I had already figured out a few years before that I needed to get out of the industry because I was a tool belt wearing builder. I was on the job site hammering nails, and it's so hard on your body that I had figured out in my mid 30s, if I did not get out of the business by the time I was 60, I'd probably be crippled. And I told my wife, I need to get out of this business. And I didn't know what to do. And in 1993, I got picked as one of the top 50 remodelers in the USA by Remodeling Magazine. And I knew that was the ticket out of the business. My wife said, you need to take that award and you should write a syndicated newspaper column about your book idea. I'm really short circuiting out the story. You need to watch those 2 live streams. I go into so much detail. I'm skipping over a lot of parts here. I start writing my syndicated column in 1993. I start my 2-hour radio talk show 6 months later in the spring of 1994. In 1999, approximately, the Fox television affiliate asked me to come into the studio and do live television like once a week or once every other week, doing a demonstration. I didn't get any money for it, but I was able to, promote my column. I said, sure, I'll come in. And if you don't know anything about television, the way it works is in all of the television newsrooms, the news director, he's got a bank of television screens, and somebody is watching always kind of out of the corner of their eye what's going on the competitive stations. Well, the ABC affiliate in Cincinnati saw me on the Fox affiliate. And they said, what the hell? Who's that guy? and they called me and they interviewed me to be their home improvement guy, to do a weekly segment that they would just play on the television. And then they just archived it. They didn't do anything with it. So when they did that, but luckily, so this is 1999. My website had launched in 1995. And here I am. This is really important. I'm on the internet and I'm looking at a television monitor, not a flat screen like we all have now that just has green type on it. But I knew it was a television monitor. And I thought to myself, and back then in 1995, the pictures were very crude. I mean, because you would break the internet. If you tried to send a 1 meg file through the internet back then, you'd break it. There was no video on the internet back then. All right. So I thought video is going to come to the internet one day. There's no doubt about it. It's going to come to the internet. So when I negotiated my deal with the ABC affiliate, I said, okay, I'll accept that money each week. You're going to pay me. It was good money, really good money. I was getting paid almost what attorneys get paid per hour. And I said, I'll do it, but I get to own the copyright to the segment because it's all the information's coming out of my freaking head. I'm the one writing the script. I'm doing everything. You're doing nothing. And you're going to create, I get to put a custom tag onto the end of the segment, and you're going to give me a copy of it, a Betamax copy. They said, okay. So here's what would happen. At the end of each segment, I would have to close it, and I would go, and remember, if you want your darts to fly straight, you need to have a red flight like this. I'm Tim Carter for Eyewitness 9 News. And the videographer who was recording me would hold his thumb up. Good. And then I would go 3, 2, 1. And remember, if you want your darts to fly straight, you have to put a red flight on, just like this. I'm Tim Carter. Ask the Builder. You go like that. Done. All right. The next week he would come, hand me my tape. So I had built up a collection of like 200 of these flipping tapes. In 2004, I get invited out to Google Zeitgeist. Very secret event. At the event, I get pulled aside, and these three people, and they said, "Hi," I forget what their names are. "Hi, blah 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 blah. We're the people that run Google Video." "Oh, really? Cool." They said, "Do you happen to have any videos?" I said, "Yeah, I happen to have 200 of them." They said, "What?" I mean, their eyes were like this. And they said, "What do you mean you have 200 videos?" And I explained it. They said, "Oh my God, can you upload them to Google Video right away?" I said, "Well, sure. I mean, whatever." And I didn't realize it, but YouTube had just started, and not too much longer after that, Google, you have to understand, Google at the time, still do, had a lot of smart people. I mean, they can see deep into the future, and they knew what was going to happen. They knew. And so that's why they bought YouTube for what? 1.8 billion. What did they buy it for? So Chad and what's his name? Chad and the other founder, Chad Hurley and I forget, Steve Yang, I think. But they didn't get all that money because Sequoia Capital had invested a lot of money into YouTube. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I was the first home improvement channel on YouTube, if that answers your question. All right. A lot of questions. I got to get caught up here. All right. Don says, I have a sagging roof in my lean-to. It's 18 feet wide, 20 foot span by, no wonder, 2x4s. No room for an extra post. I would have to see a photo. So Don, you're going to either have to do the same thing. You're going to need, for me to give you the best advice, I have to see some photos of this. So you need to take photos and either put them in Discord, or you need to go to askthebuilder.com and go to the Ask Tim page, upload the photos. $56K modems. Are you kidding me? That shows you how young you are. 56K modem. My first modem was 1200 baud. 1200 baud. And I actually think my first modem might have been 300 baud. 56K. We thought that we had died and gone to heaven with 56K. Okay. Yeah, zip drives, right. All right, I'm trying to get caught up. I started, I was the first home improvement channel on YouTube. That was 2005. Yep, 300 baud. Okay. I am kind of out of gas. Friday afternoon, going tomorrow to look at a house my son wants to buy. Sunday, I'm going to be doing that caliper. I haven't even started my newsletter yet. I don't even know if there's going to be one this Sunday. I don't know how I'm going to get it done. I may be able to throw something together tomorrow afternoon. Anyway, all right. I think I'm going to get out of here. Wait. Oh, man, I forgot about the time change. Yeah, time change. Actually, it looks like that might be permanent. They might permanently put us into daylight savings time. The Senate passed one of the rare times where there's been bipartisan support. They all 101 it passed. Yes, I majored in geology in college. Yes, I did. Yep, my Bachelor of Science is in geology. Very interesting science, by the way. Very interesting. Here. I'll tell you something that may blow you away. Have you ever been to California? All right. I'm going to talk about California. Have you ever used a wood plane before? I mean, a really good wood plane on some soft wood, and you're going the right way. All right. So what happens? You've got this wood plane, and you're pushing it, and what happens? You curl off this piece of wood. You get the shaving of the wood that you're planing. Have you ever seen that? All right. Got it? Yes. Okay. You with me so far? Let me draw something for you. Where's the flipping whiteboard? I know, Will. I hear you, man. I got to do this one in colors. I thought I was going to get off, and then somebody asked me this question. Great question. So here is, just hang with me. I'm drawing something, okay? Mountains. I need this one. Where's your flipping whiteboard at, man? Ocean. You're getting a flipping free geology lesson here, buddies. Almost done. Here we go. Are you with me? Everybody still here? All right. So plate tectonics, big. Wagner kind of figured this out about 130 years ago, but it was really continental drift and stuff did not really become accepted science until the 70s. All right. So here's like the continental plate. Like here is California. These would be like the Sierra Nevada mountains. I know this is really rough. So this is the continental plate. And here is the ocean plate. Oh, and I forgot to draw an arrow. I got just a second. Okay, so you have to understand if you look at like a topographic map of the world, of the earth, and it'll look like a baseball. Have you ever looked at the stitching on a baseball? You know how it curves and goes around the whole ball? And you'll see like halfway in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, you'll see this ridge. It's called a mid-oceanic ridge. And it's where continental crust is being created. This oceanic crust is being created and it's moving and it moves away from the ridge. So like in Iceland happens to be right on the center of the mid-Atlantic ridge, but it's up above the ocean level. And so you can actually stand right at the rift and put one foot on the European plate that's going to Europe and put your other foot that's going to be at, it's going towards New York City. All right. So here's what happens. Here's the plate that's diving underneath, the west side of America. Just think of the entire United States is on its own plate. That's this huge plate. Well, every now and then what happens is that some of this crust peels off, just like a wood shaving, and it comes up out of the ocean. In other words, part of it goes down, but part of it breaks up and goes this way and comes up. So, and I'll just say this real quickly. So I'll finish that in just a minute, but here's what you need to understand. You want to understand about earthquakes? Here's what happens. So as this goes down, sometimes these plates bend down too. This plate will bend down from the from the stress and the friction. And when that stress lets go and this plate jumps back up, that's when you get these big 9.0 earthquakes and you get these giant flipping huge tsunamis that kill, because this plate under the ocean floor may jump up 30 feet. So imagine that. Imagine the amount of energy to not only lift all that rock up, but it lifts up all of the flipping ocean water right above it, 30 feet in the air. And you wonder what causes tsunamis? Are you kidding me? All right. So get this. All of the land of California, all of Oregon, all of Washington was all created by peeling off ocean floor and just piling it up like a bulldozer onto the west side of the continental plate. So when you're in California, all of the rock that you stand on and ground used to be, I don't know, 10,000, 15,000 feet below the ocean. What else you want to know? Yeah, exactly. Jeopardy music. No. So now you've got the San Andreas fault. So what's going to happen? Here's what's happening with the fault systems. You have what we call a strike-slip fault. So some faults move up and down like this. Some faults are thrust faults, and go up like this over. And some faults are like this. I'm trying to, they just, So that's what's happening in California. You've got the San Andreas fault is what we call a strike-slip fault. So Los Angeles, I think in about 5 million years, maybe 10, Los Angeles is going to be right next door to San Francisco. It's going to happen. And it gets even better. What if I told you in, same thing, maybe 10 million years, there's going to be oceanfront property in Las Vegas. Now's the time to buy. Buy some freaking land in Las Vegas, oceanfront property. It's going to happen. And if you want to read about all this, it is so flipping interesting. I swear to God, it is. There's a great, great book. I'm getting you this book. It's written by a geologist out in California, but it's written for a layman like you. It's not. You don't have to be a geologist to understand it. You're going to see my most famous love story of all time in just a minute. I'm bringing up the link for you. You got to get this book. You have got to get this book. I'm telling you. There's 2 books here you're going to see. I've almost got it. So when you go to this page, all right, so there's the link. You're going to see a book called Rough Hewn Land. Get that book. Read chapter 1. Chapter 1 is what I just told you about California and Oregon. And it's the most fascinating book. If you've ever been out west, you need to read this book. If you're going to go out west, you absolutely have to read the book so that you get a full grasp of what you're looking at. And then if you want the best love story of all time, get the Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel. And then if you want to read about tsunamis, get there's a book on that page. It's called Cascadia's Fault. Fantastic book. I've read it twice. It's an amazing book, Cascadia's Fault. Here's what's going to happen, just so you know. If you have any relatives, or if you travel, I'll tell you this right now. This is a safety tip. If you're going to travel out west and you're going to kind of do the coast highway drive in California, Oregon, up to Seattle, and if you're going to stay like in a motel down on Route 1, that's only 50 feet above or 40 feet above the flipping ocean, and the ground starts to shake, you must immediately do whatever you have to do to get 100 or 200 feet up in the air. You've only got 8 minutes. Because that fault, there's a subduction zone that starts at Mendocino, California. That's where it ends. Starts at Mendocino and goes all the way up past Vancouver. That fault is going to unzip one day. That's what they call it. It's going to unzip across its entire length. And it will take about 2 minutes to do that. It's going to produce probably an 8.5 earthquake. And there's going to be a tsunami that literally wipes out Portland, Oregon. There's going to be, I don't know, 1 million people die. And the problem is that the fault is only 60, 70 miles offshore. So if the ground starts to shake and you're out there, you have got to immediately, if there's a hill right there, start climbing. Do it, bushwhack, do whatever you got to do. Leave your car behind. Get up the flipping hill. If it's in the middle of the night and you're in the motel room, good luck. Good luck. All right. Anything else? Otherwise, I'm out of here. Hour and 35 minutes. Long time. I'm going to get out of here. Get those books. I'm telling you, they're flipping amazing. Rough Hewn Land, I've read it 3 times. Yeah. Ooh. I mean, these big ones, like the one that hit that horrible tsunami and earthquake in Indonesia. What? It's been 15 years, I think, already. 15 years. On New Year's Day or whenever it was. That was one of those 9-pointers, man. They're oh, interesting. There you go. You're in South Korea. Fascinating. I'm telling you what. The tsunamis, they are don't screw around with the tsunamis, man. You will lose every time. You're going to lose that battle. That's all I can tell you. Yeah. Yeah, that's because Japan is right there on the subduction zone. I mean, all of Japan is all they're right there. I mean, the whole Pacific, the half of the Pacific plate is moving west towards Japan and going underneath it. That's why Japan just gets rattled all the time. You're going to get that Cascadia's Fault book. I'm telling you, it reads like a murder mystery. It's crazy. I don't want to spoil it for you. It was just how these geologists figured it out. You're not going to believe what happened. What they did, how they figured it out. Yeah, I've seen the tsunami videos of the Japanese tsunamis. Oh my gosh, man. The water rises so fast. It's so destructive. Oh my gosh. Okay, got to go. Thanks for being here. I'm going to have a busy weekend. You'll hear all about the brake caliper repair on Monday. Okay, thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Hit the like button if you liked it. Spread the good word about the live stream. Make sure you join the Discord. Good Night's putting the link in there for you. We're trying to get the Discord up to 500 to 1,000 people. Once it gets there, it'll really start to rock and roll. So things are a little quiet right now because we don't have critical mass. So don't get discouraged because you don't see a lot of activity there. We need to get to critical mass. I'm out of here. Thanks for being here today. Fish dinner tonight. I got fish. I'm making fish sandwiches. It's going to be awesome. I love fish. Can't get enough of it. All right. I'm out of here. Thanks for being here. I'm Tim Carter. Been Asked the Builder. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. Really appreciate you a lot. Wish me luck on the brake caliper. Should be pretty easy. All right. I'm out of here. See ya.